¿Me pueden oír?
Sí.
I marvel at all the words I heard this morning. Maria, I could listen to you always. You remind me of a woman who came into my house not recently, and I knew she was upset, y me dijo, creen que somos burros. Creen que somos burros. And I said, what happened? ¿Qué pasó? Creen que somos burros porque no tenemos educación formal, pero tenemos principios. They think we're ignorant, we're donkeys, because we don't have formal education. But we have our stories, our principles, our traditions, and they teach us from the beginning. So today on, 16th of September, last night, this is the harvest moon. This is the corn moon. This is the time to reap and all that we have planted. So I'm honored to be here. And I hope that I can inspire some of you, because I'm not a comedian, I'm not a humorist. I can't, make you laugh. I'm serious. You all know, my friends. And I feel like that, that so-called all-American breakfast where you have ham and eggs and you say, oh gosh, that chicken was certainly involved in breakfast, but boy, that pig was definitely committed, and that's exactly how I feel right now, that I'm committed to this. This morning, so I'm Elizabeth Martinez. I'm the daughter of Venus Espinosa Martinez, and the granddaughter of Mariquita Cisneros Espinosa, and the great-granddaughter of Chonita Reina Cisneros, and the great-great-great-granddaughter of Espiritu Reina, a lucky woman. And I am the eighth-great-granddaughter of Concepcion Atencio Espinosa of Taos, New Mexico in the 1700s. So I come with stories. They're who I am. Am I the keynote speaker because I'm the oldest Chicano I've ever met?
No.
Because that's not true, because my dear friend John Ayala is my shoulder. John. Been through so many stories together. So we're Reforma. We're Reformistas. I first heard that word in 1970 from Dr. Arnulfo Trejo. We are Reformistas, right? We know what that means? Yeah.
Change.
Reform in any language, Reformistas. Dr. Trejo was a visionary. Let's thank him for starting. He's not here on this 40th anniversary. He's here.
Spirit.
You're right. The spirit is always here. A friend, a counselor, a librarian. What did he envision for Reforma? What would he say today about Reforma? And though I'm sure he would be extremely proud of Reforma, I think he would tell us that our work is not over. He would be proud, but he'd ask us also a question. Does it make a difference that we're reformistas? Does it make a difference that a reformista is a children's librarian? Or a technology specialist? Or a reference in academia? Does it make a difference? Does it make a difference that a reformista is a library director? Claro que sí. Claro que sí, or you or I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be reformistas. This is not a social club. This is a group that wants to bring about change. We're activists. You call yourself that? I want to take you back to a time when there were less than 2 handfuls of Latino Spanish-speaking librarians. Less than 2 handfuls at an ALA conference when there was no reforma. Can you imagine that? When there was no reforma? So I want to take you back and tell you some stories. 41 years ago, in 1970, at the ALA conference in Detroit, in the Renaissance Hotel on the 68th floor, late June, very hot and humid. That was my first ALA. My very first ALA. And I knew no one. But I had some friends that I hope to meet there. I had a friend named Billy Tate Wilkin, a black librarian from
Oh, yeah.
And she introduced me to another person who became a friend, E.J. Josie. Wow. So the Black Caucus helped me. There was no reforma. There was no group for us. But the Black Caucus, and especially E.J., took me under his wings. He told me where to sit at the council meeting. He told me who to talk to and what committees I should be on. He told me what side of the ALA agenda I should be. You're laughing because you know exactly what. Yes, we do. He also told me his stories about desegregating ALA, which I knew nothing about, but were fresh to him. So I come to ALA and I meet people, especially EJ and the East Coast crowd, who takes me under their wing. I felt like, I was really cute and thin then. Somebody they really wanted to have on their team. And then I met Dr. Trejo. And at one of these meetings, Dr. Trejo and I just met in a hallway. And, it's like seeing a mirror image. It's like you see somebody that looks a little bit like you. Although, you know what the Chicano comedian Paul Rodriguez says about us? We come in all different colors. We come from negros, straightitos, morenitos, y los blanquitos, and we come all because. So sometimes it's kind of hard to recognize each other, but he says it's because we sleep with everybody.
We do?
Big, tall, Latino man, and I was, I've been told I'm a lot of things, but including how I look. But we just met in the hallway, and I'd heard about him. I don't think he knew about me, but he had a message, and his message was he was going to look for reformistas. Not reforma, reformistas. He wanted reformistas. I, coming from East LA, was there carrying around a 16-millimeter film of I Am Joaquin. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was carrying this around and I was looking for an audience. So between the two of us, I'll help you with reformistas. you get me an audience to show I'm lucky. And some of you, if you look on Wikipedia, you know, that great authority, for the Reforma history, you'll see that talks about I'm Joaquin. You know, he was inspired by that poem. And so was I. So was I. So, let me tell you a little bit. Of course, I moved from Quantico, South Australia. This was the first edition of the book. I'm Joaquin, lost in a world of confusion, caught up in a whirl of gringo society, confused by the rules, scorned by attitudes, suppressed by manipulations, and destroyed by modern society. My fathers have fought the economic battle. They've lost the struggle, cultural survival, and now I must choose between the paradox of victory of the spirit despite physical hunger, or to exist in the grasp of American social neurosis, sterilization of the soul, and a full stomach. And it goes on. When I saw this film, I was just a young librarian in East LA. My first job, and I was working on a federal project called The Way Out. We always joke about how, what did that mean, you know, the way out of what? Or the way in from what? But it was a project in East LA and South Central, 4 libraries in East LA and 6 in South Central. And it was a wonderful team, and this is a team that I grew up with as far as becoming a professional librarian. Ann Rosen, Jewish, communist, active, Arizona copper mine strikes, taught literacy in Harlem, worked for Center for the Institute for the Blind. Joyce Sumby, black librarian for children and youth. And she taught me a really good lesson that it took me years to understand and years to implement. And she would see me beaten up by cave people